to Desert Holiday week number 1. This is also part of the Major League Show Jumping League. Starting off,
we have a new leader right now.
Well, a very good morning and set to go into our opening class of 2 5-star classes today. Our opening one, a smaller group going, is 17 in this $9,000 Antares 145. Quality group, though, coming for this class. And starting off with the world number 5 with Connor Swale with Nadal Hero and DB for the Manon Farm, the 9-year-old by Cannon. 1 round class here with 80 seconds the time allowed. And Connor Swale, of course, continues a very good run. Had several wins in Las Vegas a few weeks ago. We saw him, of course, last in Monterey, notching up a win there. Then headed up to Toronto for another string of top 3s. And lovely to see him. We've got some great, fantastic combinations coming up over this week and next week as well. Connor Swale being one with us this week too, alongside the likes of Kent Farrington. Connor on the 9-year-old here. 1 or 2 here as well. I think we'll just have a quieter run. Some of the 5-star horses getting their first shot here. But lovely to see this horse in action. Just tucks up so nicely and easily. Very good horse that we've seen a few times this year through into the big class. He jumped the 5-star Grand Prix in Monterey, in fact. And with Connor giving them a little bit more exposure. Finished with a nice win in Dinard in France back into August of this year. Again, already bringing up those next Grand Prix horses. Has just built up such a terrific string around him over in the last few years to really lift him into that top 10 for the first time. Turn back to the Calais fence. Quite an acute angle there to get to that one. And again, just testing their speed, and then down here to the last. Might have a little bit for time, as I say. Not going to necessarily go to the races here. 81.6. And in fact, time allowed confirmed at 76. So 76 means that 6th time there, 81.6 for Connor Swale and Nadal Hero and DB.
Jiminy Cricket, here's our second horse. This horse owned by Evergate Stables. Rider for Egypt, Nael Nassar.
And from Connor Swale to another top 5-star rider who's with us here this week. It is Nael Nassar and Jiminy Cricket. Jiminy Cricket now an 11-year-old by Calestus, which was a very good horse ridden by Ludger Beerbaum as well. And Nael, again, of course, spent a large part of his life on the West Coast as well. Back here for the Egyptian rider, for Nael, and for him, of course, into Olympic Games last year and World Championships this as well. Another one featuring in Vegas. Top 3 with this horse in a similar class there back a few weeks ago. Also had that lovely win up at Toronto as well in the Royal Centennial Cup with El Conde, who's also here this week. And just leaves a foot on those 2 parts of the Stones double. Some beautifully presented fences here on this terrific grass field. Absolutely cushion perfect going here throughout the week. Steve Hankin and his team done a tremendous job to produce world-class footing for the events here. Grass this week, then we're over under the lights in the stadium next week as well, so a little bit of variation on the 2 weeks for the Major League shows. Nael here also just having a real first spin of the week with Jiminy Cricket, so just taking a quieter run here on the 8 at the moment. And now a nice easy cruise to last. Be a bit of time to add, but again, we'll set them up for the week. Couple down, both coming at the double there, 87.92. Add in the time takes us to a total of 20 at 87.92 for Nael Nassar and the 11-year-old Jiminy Cricket so far.
And that will put that combination into second place. That was Egypt's Nayal Nassar and Jiminy Cricket. Back to the rounders for Ireland.
Jordan Coyle and Centrico Volo for the Celtic Park LLC, the 10-year-old by Centredel for the Irishman. Jordan, who's been a big team player for the Spikos team throughout the season. Number of times that we've seen throughout, I think around 4 times now he's been into that final. Centrico Volo getting a little more exposure again this year as a 10-year-old. Jordan, who was a big Grand Prix winner here last year as well, out on the surface for the finale Grand Prix here as part of Major League in 2021. Fairly tidy turnaround there into the double. Nice and efficient so far. More pace on this than the couple of early rounds we've seen so far. Little change a leg down to the CP fence. Michelle Valancourt, our course designer here this week, the Canadian. Neat turn into the double. And really tucks in between the Major League Pro logos up there and into the vertical. Looking good at the moment. Should cruise into the lead as it stands. Just going to leave these last couple up. Nice tidy turn to the Caladay fence. All very efficient. And yep, no trouble at all. 72.44 into the lead for Jordan Coyle and Centrico Volo. $9,000 on this class, as you can see. Antares 145 here this morning. And a really tight and tidy round there for Jordan Coyle and Centrico Volo to take the lead so far.
Third place. And we are going to stay with the Irish riders here. Daniel Coyle, the source owned by Errol Grange, is Legacy. And Legacy, this is the 12-year-old Zanga Shadamere. We're signed by Chippendale Z. The mare Regina D.
And Daniel Coyle now. Daniel, 2 brothers. And it's birthday day for Daniel Coyle as well. Congratulations. Happy birthday, Daniel. Legacy. He is a European Championship horse and owned by Ariel Grange. It is the 12-year-old mare that's gone so well this year as well. Brilliant performance in Rotterdam as well in the Grand Prix there. Daniel, who's really stepped up to a new gear in the last 2 years, getting onto those championship teams for Ireland. Another, like his brother, who's a prolific winner of classes. Super set of horses with Ariel Grange. He goes a little wider there, gets outside of the timers compared to Jordan. He's going a little bit more of a leisurely pace than Jordan's round. And gives himself a bit more space there just after that little bit of imbalance coming between 9 and 10. And just getting them nicely set up for the last. Going to have a bit of time to add as well, but again, not going to worry about that one too much. One to watch for the Grand Prix later on in the week. On a score of 10 in total, 81.86 with time added there for Daniel Coyle and Legacy.
Jordan Coyle in the lead with that clear round on a time of 72.44 seconds. Here's our next rider for the host nation of the USA, Caitlin Campbell. And this is Armentos. Armentos owned by SWS Training and Sales.
And it's Caitlin Campbell now based over here on the West Coast. And this is Armentos for Caitlin. Also top 10 of the recent World Cup qualifier in Las Vegas. Had a nice win there as well through the week on a horse called Sun Warrior. And with us throughout Monterey as well, finishing top 3 there for Caitlin. On the Roadrunners team again this week, the home team. Unfortunately, first fence just coming down, but again gives her a first run at this course, and not quite the start they want, with a couple of early fences down. Keenly through the double there, looking a lot more settled now into these later fences. Again, using it now as a round to just settle them into the week here. Just a reminder of how it works this week. Later on this afternoon, big class to come up then. Just short of $75,000 in the prize fund there. Come and join us for that. And then over the next couple of days, Saturday sees the team event. That's underway at 2 o'clock, and the Grand Prix on Sunday as well to complete this first week. Here it'll be on the grass this time, as I say, in the stadium next week. Efficient turn up to the Caladay fence. It was those first couple of fences dropping down for them. You'll see some time on the order as well. Total 20 in 87.22 for Caitlin Campbell and Armentos to go into fourth so far, leaving Jordan Coyle leading with Centrico Volo on 72.44.
Irish runners, Anna Duff and Interactive Mortgage Cayano. This horse at 9 years old, owned by DeLong Equestrian Ventures of Encinitas, California. Interactive Mortgage Cayano.
And on to Ireland's Anna Duff now with Interactive Mortgage Cayano. And for her on this 9-year-old Westphalian by Cayetano L. Again, for Anna, this one that's featured in classes here before now. For Anna, newer ride for her, competing here this week as part of the 5 Stars. Irish rider again, based out here on the West Coast. For these weeks. Of course, competed over in Europe throughout the year until very recently, and competing over in the Netherlands. Again, very much involved in the production of a lot of young horses as well. Duff then heading over here to the US. And riding several horses through the Interactive Mortgage Jumping team. Takes a wider run at the Caladay fence again, just to give them some room. Gets a nice jump at that one. Coming home on the 4 faults. Just going to be a little bit of time as well for them. But again, we'll see more of them during the week. On a score of 10, new ride for her with Interactive Mortgage Cayano. This horse has gone very well through 2-star ranks before now. They're stepping up very nicely here into this 5-star class with Anna Duff of Ireland.
In 4th place, Jordan Coyle for Ireland, still in the lead aboard Centrico Volo. And off to Germany next. Rupert Winkelmann and Omar van Hunters. This rider from Germany aus Deutschland. It's owned by Eckendorf Horses of Wellington, Florida.
And been a pretty good start to the week for Rupert Winkelmann so far. A win and a 2nd place for him with the ride of the 8-year-old Omar van der Hunters for the Eckendorf Horses by Hunters Sendio for Rupert. Joining me too is Hannah Robson for the classes throughout the week. Steady start, but it's interesting. We've got quite a few here. I think they're going to be looking towards that Grand Prix later on in the week. We'll see. And like with this horse, this is a horse he used in the team competition. So a few different options for the riders here.
Yes, absolutely. We do have a really good lineup this morning in this competition, and as you say, there's certainly some combinations that you would think would be aiming at the 5-star Grand Prix, you know, particularly the likes of Daniel Coyle and Legacy, Connor Swale, Nadal Hero and DB going better and better for him. Niall Nassar's got some very good horses here as well, and Caitlin Campbell's been aiming Armentos at some top-level rounds in the recent weeks as well. But Omar van der Hunters has gone very well for Rupert. It's one that he's been riding since 2021, and this is just an 8-year-old.
Yeah, just a little bit of a struggle on a couple of fences there. Just got into a better shape the second time around through the double. No, just trying to quiet things off to get the shape how they want. Again, just going to come steadily around here just to get it right. Gets a nice straight shot to the Calais fence. Gets home on the 12, plus some time there for Rupert Winkelman and the 8-year-old Omar van der Hunters. And so we'll see the score of 31 in all with the time added in. I'd say just around 17 to go in the class here this morning. Then later on it is our main class of the day. And could well feature that is Portugal's Luis Sabino Gonçalves and Bimel Deschamps, the 11-year-old by Chef Rouge for the Portuguese Championship rider. Love to see him. And say for the last couple of seasons he's been basing out here in California. Had a little change around back in 2020.
Yes, this is a fairly new ride for Luis, actually. He's been competing this horse in Las Vegas. There at the World Cup show last month, now coming here to California, but this is only his second show with this horse. The horse was previously ridden by Steve Rousseau of France and Hervé Guyot of France as well in recent years. But Luis has aimed this horse at a couple of speed classes, just having one pole down in the classes they've jumped together so far. I'm sure he'll be aiming for a clear here, but certainly a fairly decent record for them together so far at this early stage.
Absolutely, and he's been bringing this horse on well. Of course, a number of horses that he's produced out here on the West Coast, one of which was Argand de Belliard. He won classes here in Thermal with, and then went on, of course, with Lee Keenan. Just drops a pole there for Luis. And again, with several horses that have come through. So he went back to Europe for a little while, competed, of course, home show at the Nations Cup in Lisbon. Going to be time to add there as well. 4 plus the time takes him to 13, and also 9 for time there for Luis Sabino Gonçalves and Bimel Deschamps for the pairing going into 5th place. As I say, quite a few getting the 5-star horses out for a good look around this arena here this morning. $9,000 Antares 145, but keenly round was Jordan Coyle with Centrico Volo on the clear at 72.44. Terrific day yesterday for this rider, Tanimara Makari, and she claimed, I think, 2 classes yesterday. Starfly is the 9-year-old by Star Power on the Anglo-European Studbook. And, well, we'll see. She's had a star day yesterday. The difficulty is sometimes is now you've got to follow that. But also you come in with confidence, which is great. Superstar and keenly at the first, which is great. She's going to have a run at this by the looks of it.
Yeah, she had a good 2 wins yesterday, one in a 2-star class and one in a 5-star class as well. But she's certainly got a very good pace up. She's had this horse since the summer of this year, jumped well in Lexington and then at our legs in Mexico at San Miguel de Allende and in Monterrey as well. In fact, she had a 2-star win at San Miguel with this horse as well, 2-star jump-off class win there. And this horse came from Katrin Eckermann.
Yeah, Katrin, who's produced a couple of really good horses. One was Firth of Lawn that's retired now, again is a well-known stallion. Another one that's been out this year, 9-year-old that won the Miami Grand Prix and gone so brilliantly for the young German rider. She won the Hamburg Grand Prix at the age of, I think it was 23, I remember when we did that. Just as the 4 faults there, was going at a good pace so far for Tanimura. Oh, and just a little bit of a scramble there. Thought she was going to get away with that, but again, didn't quite work out, but certainly giving it a go. And there we go on the 8. It's going to be a really good time, 70.35, so would have been ahead of Jordan Coyle. She gave it a really good early on run, but a little bit of maybe an experience too with the 9-year-old Starfly comes into play. So they will finish on 8. Fastest time so far at 70.35, but on the 8 faults puts her into 3rd place for Tanimura. James Arkins now, and Javaro N for the Australian rider, who made the move over to the United States from Australia, as he then developed along with this horse called Eurostar that he then rode on the Nations Cup teams for the Australians this year very successfully, and now building up more of the string here. But he was winner of World Cups out in Australia as well, and now transferring those skills over here. Again, the Australian circuit not as strong as the likes of America or even into Europe, so again it's a need to move to be a part of the bigger competition.
Yeah, and he's certainly been jumping in some very high-profile competitions recently. Another rider who went to Las Vegas and had this horse on the podium twice, once in a speed class and once in a jump-off class. So they come here fresh from a couple of very good results. Horse has been competed by Matt Williams of Australia fairly recently as well. Again, to some good results. Yeah,
Matt also here, based out here on the West Coast as well now. Matt, who rode at several Olympic Games for Australia. Gets a good slice across the double there. Keeps up some good movement so far. May not be quite as fast as Jordan Coyle. We will see. Little skinny there at the Marshall and Sterling fence. Just catches a toe on the Major League, though, unfortunately, to put them on the 4. But then with the only clear at the moment, still has a shot at going into 2nd place at the point. Which if he leaves this up, which is not, unfortunately. It is on to 8, so to 61 for James Arkins and Javaro N. Just an 8-year-old, though, with James for the Australian, and puts them into 4th place, again coming into what would be their first 5-star as well, so good to see them here. Good opportunity on the top going of this field. Luis Pedro Birobén for the Crusaders team, the Argentinian, with the Chapeau PSZ. Another one bringing a young horse through, and again these classes perfect opportunity for that. An 8-year-old by Comme Il Faut Plus Z, which is also a sire, one of the very good horses that Kent Farrington has at the moment, and it's the next generation of those coming through in terms of stallions from Comme Il Faut on that line, and some very interesting ones coming through from there.
Yeah, absolutely. We do see quite a few of the horses being quite similarly bred, but as you say, certainly some younger stallions coming through, breeding some really exciting horses, and this is certainly one of them. Luis has jumped this horse in the 2-star Grand Prix in Monterey that we had there, just having 1 pole down in the 2nd week and then a couple of poles down in the 2-star Grand Prix in week 1. Also jumped well in San Miguel, though, as well. Had 3 good clear rounds there at the 2-star level, so nice to see them now stepping up to the 5 stars. He jumped some 5 stars at Saugerties with this horse back in September, but just been cementing their partnership at the 2 stars and then now stepping up to the 5-star competitions here this week once again.
Yeah, which makes sense as an 8-year-old. It's perfect opportunity to do that for Luis. Gets a nice straight shot through the double. Not going for the inside line here, just setting up nicely for this little white skinny. You can just get a nice rolling 8 down to the Major League fence. Again, he's going to have time to add, but I say most of those this morning, not too worried about that. Going to be 4 plus time, takes him to a score of 13.84.05 for Luis Pedro Birobén and Chapeau PSZ. But nice to see a few of the 8-year-olds out this morning. Gives us a good opportunity to mark the card for those for next season as well. that we'll see really tucks up nicely there, and I say on that lines of Comme il faut, which goes back to Rutina Z. Of course, that was the twice Olympic gold winning mare with 2 different riders. No prizes for guessing those. Most people will guess those anyway. Let's move on, and it is going to be from Luis Pedro Biraben to our next now. It's Tali de Jong and Valiant Bellevue. That was a rider that also joined us in Mexico on the tour there. 13-year-old, again, for this Californian rider by Colin Duplessis. And Tali de Jong, one of the younger riders in the field. Again, it's been a good opportunity for her this year. Around about, 5-6 left to go in this opening class.
Yeah, she has had a really good year this year so far and really stepping up to the level. She's been jumping in the team competition a couple of times. She jumped on the Crusaders in both legs of competition at Monterey, helping the team to a 6th place. And then she just had 1 pole down when they finished 8th. So good performances from her for those competitions. She's also been jumping well in the 2-star classes as well. And this is a horse that she's had for really quite some time. Jumped well with this horse in Europe last year as well, at the places like Kronenberg and Verger de la Frontera as well. Very talented young rider. She also jumped well with this horse at Spruce Meadows, just picking up 1 time penalty in a very good 3-star competition there. Again, she's going in between the timing markers there. We've only seen 1 person go inside those, that of course being Jordan Coyle.
Absolutely, and just the first fence that's costing her at the moment. Still a shot to go into 2nd place, but might just be, and I think sure to be, getting a little bit of time here as well. Let's say some for these eyes on the prize later on the week, and also just getting themselves in the groove for the week. So 4 to add for time there as well. 79.69 till of 8 for Tali de Jong and Valiant de Bellevue.
4 time faults as well. Total of 8 faults to the rider for the USA out of Golden, Colorado. Time on the clock, 79.69 seconds.
For them, finishing on 8 for Colorado-based Tali de Jong.
Jordan Coyle still in the lead, so Ireland in 1st. Ireland's in 2nd, Mexico in 3rd right now.
Jordan Coyle keeps the lead so far. Connor Swale in the 2nd spot. Tanamara Makari, as we've seen just a few moments ago, going into 3rd. Sean Jobin, Kuklakuts, for the Fox Ridge Farm Stables. 10-year-old Micah Toki. 10-year-old we've seen quite a few times now this season, Micah Toki.
10-year-old Zangashada Stallion. Started by Katoki.
Sean Jobin, part of the Show Plus Northern Lights team as well. They've got a little bit of work to do this week to put them into a chance to get further up the table in the Major League Series. Not take a shot at the win, but chances still. Still some big moves could be made yet. Who knows? All depends on how it goes for a few teams tomorrow. That's going to be key for them. Some might shift further ahead of the pack. Who knows? Some might be making a move from the bottom for a potential podium position. Who knows? We'll see. Sean Jobin, though, building a nice relationship with this horse, the 10-year-old this season, as they've moved up into these 5-star shows.
Yeah, he jumped the horse in the 5-star opening class yesterday. Was clear in the 1st phase, just had a couple down, a little bit of time as well in the 2nd phase. Sean was actually 6th in that competition yesterday as well with Darius. But as you say, this is a horse that we've seen quite a few times now on the Major League circuit, and we've seen this horse go pretty well in a lot of these kinds of competitions. He uses the horse's ground cover well.
And again, it's getting used to this level all the time. Okay, this one's a little bit smaller. We go up a hole or 2 during the week yet. But just finished on the 2 times, 77.3. But more exposure to the big tracks, more exposure to the tough courses certainly helps build them up. And Sean Jobin goes into 2nd place there. Really tucks up tidily over the last there. Really legs underneath, full jump jet over the final fence, just dropping into the 2-time vaults, though, 77.3, just a little bit steadier early on with Coach van der Heuveland.
This rider just 23 years old, or the 11-year-old, owned by Marigold Sport Horses of Palo Alto. Yeah, this is an 11-year-old Oldenburg mare, a chestnut mare.
Natalie Dean now, and Cocolina
The mare Carolina.
from here in California. The 11-year-old by Contagos, the mare for Natalie, part of Team Logano. Another team that needs to lift themselves up a few places if they can. Tomorrow's a great opportunity. Last week, double points, another great opportunity. They can make some moves around. Again, another team that can't get to the win, but they can make some moves. Be interesting to see. Natalie rode the winning round earlier on this year. Cocolina, lovely to see this in action. She's got a lovely set of horses around her. A Coterem really impressing too. And of course, Chance Saint-Amel for those big competitions, including recently in that World Cup in Las Vegas.
Yeah, she's been a really key part of Team Logano and helped them to that fantastic win in Ottawa, but they have got quite a long way to go if they're going to get to the top of the tree. But it's still not impossible for them to get a little bit higher up, and Cocolina's certainly been a very good horse for Natalie. She had a win with this horse in a 5-star jump-off class in Monterey, and she also had a couple of wins at Spruce and Meadows at 3-star level with this horse as well, so really pretty on-form combination.
Takes the Marston Sterling fence a little on the angle. Again, good opportunity to use this class, not only for trying to win, some prize money in here as well, but get the horses used to jumping these type. Get ready for those jump-off classes, those bigger speed classes throughout. And here it's going to put a very nice round together at 75.37 to go into second spot for Natalie Dean and Cocolina. Used well to good advantage, gets away quickly from that double. And they're confidently at the last. Swish the tail and gone.
Cocolina for the USA now in second. Canada moves into third place. Ireland still in the lead, and just 3 remaining.
And just 3 left to go. Reminder, our class coming up later on, $74,200 Whittier Trust 150 5-star jump-off class at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Cassia Rivetti, multiple championship rider, Olympian rider for Brazil. Nadal van Dorpenheide for the 9-year-old here from the Alain Ferder stables by Silver Star T. And doesn't leave much space there. We're getting to fence 2 in terms of some fairly tight turn-ups there. Just having a nice run at this class. I say leading time is what, 72.44. Class jockey also these days concentrating a lot of his jumping here over on the west coast of the US.
This is a relatively new partnership. This is actually their first international competition together. This is a horse that was with Erin Ballard until the end of August. She jumped the horse up to 5-star level in Wellington, had some good results, and prior to that the horse was with Sofia Westborg of Sweden. But as you say, Cassia Rivetti, very much a rider who's got all the experience under his belt. And this talented 9-year-old is one that he's forming a very good partnership with, and as you say, managing to take some very tight turns.
Nice and tidy so far. This could be not far away. Leading time 72.44. Cruise down to the last, leave it there, and he should get in the lead. Yes, he will at 71. That's nice and tidy. 71 seconds exactly for Cassia Rivetti, and new ride with Nadal van Dorpenheide. As you say, with Erin Ballard before, of course, all that part of the Alain Ferder stables set up. East Coast or West Coast. Cassia Rivetti there taking on the ride though this week. Erin also here busy with plenty of rides herself too. But new leader of this Antares $9,000 145 this morning. John Coyle gets a second run here with Picador for the Irishman, with the Spy Coast team's horse that's been a part of the final jump-offs on a good few occasions. I think 4 occasions overall.
Yeah, Jordan's been that medal jump-off rider, as you say, 4 times now this season. He's been a really key part of the Spy Coast Spies, helping them to 5 second-place finishes in the season so far. They're in 3rd place in the overall season standings. They're just a little bit behind Team Eye Candy. And so a couple of good results at these last 2 legs would just be crucial for them.
Yeah, just a 3-point difference to Spy Coast and the Eye Candy team, and then 9 points up to the leading team so far. Jordan Coyle then taking a run at what was his own leading time, 72.44. Now it's down to 71 with Cassio Rivetti in front. Again, for Jordan, this is a good opportunity. Gets a nice tight time turn inside there. But again, to think about the team competition as well, how it might go for that. Give the horse experience of that here this morning.
Yeah, and he's a naturally fast rider, and the horse is naturally fast as well. He's had a lot of podium finishes in some really fantastic competitions. And looking at the clock, let's hope he keeps the final fence up.
Yep, he does, 68.58, and takes over the lead. He didn't lose it for very long, Jordan Coyle and Picador, but now in the lead. But as I say, that gives you just a little bit of an insight of what to expect. I would take a shot that that's probably his team horse tomorrow, and again, gives him a good preparation for that. And again, get the horse used to doing those turns in here. Feeling good on the ground. And Jordan Coyle, new leader, with Picador in our Antares 145. I don't think I'll find a combination, but might well have the last word yet, because we've seen them win already this season. We saw them win in Monterey. Alberto Micha and Bugatti for Eduardo Leon, 16-year-old horse by Heartbreaker, that has done a prolific amount of winning with both he and, of course, with William Genn before that as well. Abu Micha and Bugatti, and with Firewall this season, has just been ticking off those classes. And unfortunately ticks off the first fence, so he'll be on 4. So Jordan Coyle will win with Picador.
That's unfortunate because, as you say, Alberto Michan's gone really well in classes like this, and in the big 5-star jump-off classes as well already this season. He often has a podium finish earlier on in the week and has had wins actually several times as well. Did particularly well in Mexico at all 3 legs actually.
Chasing down here, just getting them going. He was a little bit hesitant to that first fence, and now just trying to get a real chase and go and a gallop into them. And unfortunately has the CP fence down as well, but won't be too worried about that at that point.
Again, this is a horse that he's ridden on the team competition as well, and he's on the Roadrunners squad. And of course, it's a home show here for the team. So again, could well be a team horse.
We will see. But I say, good opportunity here to get into a sort of similar environment to that without the pressure of the team competition. A little bit to think about before tomorrow if they do go for the team with Bugatti. But Bugatti's got a terrific record. There we go. Not their usual score, but a little bit to add to time as well. Total of 19. They're 82.35. For Alberto Micha and Bugatti. It's a win for Jordan Coyle in the Antares 5-star this morning. I say we're going to be back at 1 o'clock with the Whittier Trust jump-off class for that. Picador is going to be your winner, 68.58. Maybe it opens the curtain as well for a little of what might happen in the team class. We'll see. Cassio Rivetti, Nadal van Dorpenheide. Jordan Coyle again crops up in 3rd place with Centrico Volo. 4th place for Natalie Dean and Cocolina, and 5th for Sean Jobian and Complicot. 6 goes to Connorswale, Nadal, Hero, and DB. We'll see you a little bit later on. There's the confirmed order for this $9,000 Antares 145 5-star. Jordan Coyle is 1st and 3rd. Cassio Rivetti in 2nd. And best of the US is Natalie Dean in 4th. Canada featuring in 5th as well, and Ireland again into 6th spot. Plenty of nations there. Mexico and Australia in there as well. We will be off to swing around the globe and bring you back at 1 o'clock. We'll see you then.
great competition, the Antares Cellier Speed. Antares Cellier, driven by performance and the search for excellence. Antares conducts research with world-recognized equine health professionals and partners with international riders, both world champions and Olympians, in all equestrian disciplines. Antares methods, knowledge, and unique technology continue to evolve through their shared and passionate experience, so they can provide both horse and rider the ultimate performance. The team of saddle makers, engineers, and sales representatives are the best in their profession. This great competition, and Jordan Coyle held the lead for quite a while, was bumped out of that lead by Cassio Orvetti. Comes back on his second horse and says, I want to take home first place. In our top placings, again, third place, that goes to Jordan Coyle and Centrico Volo. Second, the rider for Brazil, Cassio Orvetti. Fourth, Nadal van October Haida. Antares Cellier, driven by performance and the search for excellence. Antares conducts research with world-recognized equine health professionals and partners with international riders, world champions, and Olympians in all equestrian disciplines. Antares methods, knowledge, and unique technology continue to evolve through their shared and passionate experience, so they can provide both horse and rider the ultimate performance. The team of saddle makers, engineers, and sales representatives are the best in their profession. Chantel Long joining us for these presentations. And brand new cooler aboard Picador, the champion, the winning horse of the Antares Cellier meter 45, CSI 2-star speed. And the rider for Ireland, Jordan Coyle. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to honor our champion, we would ask you to please rise for the playing of the national anthem of Ireland. And certainly congratulations to the rider for Ireland. Ireland on top of that leaderboard. That is Jordan Coyle aboard Picador. And Cassio Orvetti in second for Brazil. And Jordan Coyle and Centrico Volo in a third place. Natalie Dean for the USA and Cocolina in fourth. John Jobin for Canada in fifth. Connor Swell for Ireland in sixth place. Telemara, Maria Macari, and for Mexico in seventh. James Arkins, a rider who represents Australia, in eighth place. Ninth to Tally de Jong. In 10th, that's Daniel Coyle. 11th, Anna Duff. And Luis Pedro Biraben in 12th. And that official photograph in the history books with one more thing to do. Jordan Coyle, if you would please lead our field in our victory ride. taking home top place, and that is Picador and Jordan Coyle for Ireland. Cassio Rivetti for Brazil. Nadal, Van Dorp in second. Jordan Coyle in third. So Ireland in first and in third. Jordan Coyle in first and third. Third, of course, Centrico Volo. And great job, riders, here in the Antares Cellier Speed. Part of the 2022 Desert Holiday 1, our CSI 2-star event. Great thanks to Chantal Long. And joining us on behalf of Antares Cellier. Antares Cellier, driven by performance and the search for excellence. Antares conducts research with world-recognized equine health professionals and partners with international riders, both world champions and Olympians in all equestrian disciplines. Antares methods, knowledge, and unique technology continue to evolve through their shared and passionate experience so they can provide both horse and rider the ultimate performance. The team of saddle makers, engineers, and sales representatives are the best in their profession.
We have a new leader right